Why hello there! It's time for another review! But what are we dealing with this time? An interesting little comedy adventure game. This is The Good, the Bad, and the Bland, a Paradigm. Paradigm is a point-and-click adventure game that is similar in style to games like Monkey Island and Day of the Tentacle. Players will take Paradigm through a journey to get his computer working again so he continued to make fat beatsies and sell his hot electronic EP. Assuming he can ever stop procrastinating long enough to finish it, let's dive right into my opinions on the game. One of Paradigm's strongest points is its humor. There were quite a few moments that had me laughing and reminded me of the stylings of the golden age of point-and-click adventure games. The characters were interesting and varied, and I was always curious what the next one would be like. Paradigm's puzzles and interactions also tend to make sense, which may seem like it's not that big of a deal, but tended to be one of the biggest downfalls of the adventure genre for the longest time. Paradigm also gives options for varying levels of help during the game so that players of many skill levels can enjoy the plot. And speaking of the plot, I feel that that's another very strong point of the game as it sticks around just long enough that it feels satisfying in length without overstaying its welcome. The voice acting is also well done and helps to keep the characters engaging as you proceed to interact with everyone and their bizarre quirks. But like everything in life, the game does have a few flaws, so let's take a look at While the vast majority of Paradigm's humor is fantastic, there are a few moments where it falls flat or otherwise seems to miss the mark, relying more on referential or overly crude humor rather than its normally bizarre format. This doesn't particularly take away from the overall enjoyment of the game in my opinion, but it was a noticeable distraction at the times it occurred. Now it's time to look at Of all the things that stick out in my mind about this game, the music is an aspect that just isn't one of them. The sound design itself for the game is really well done, but the music just was not something that stuck in my mind. Paradigm is a game that I was expecting absolutely nothing from, but was surprised at how much I found. It was a game that took me back to the days of Day of the Tentacle and Monkey Island without the frustration of the older adventure game's puzzle logic. It made me laugh with its completely off-the-wall humor, and even though it fell flat at a couple points, its overall style won me over. If you're a fan of comedic point-and-click adventure games, or even just want to see some really interesting characters and surreal comedy, then I would highly recommend you pick up Paradigm, and if you do, or have already played it, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game as well. Feel free to hit me up in the comments, on Twitter, or in our Discord. Thanks for watching everyone, and as always, keep gaming.